What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another discussion video. Today, this one is going to be pretty straightforward, and you guys see the title, and yes, Octopath Traveler deserves. We deserve as Switch owners. This is proof. Based on all the different information that has came out, this is proof that the classic style RPGs sell on the Nintendo Switch, and this is proof that we deserve a brand new Chrono Trigger, or some type of Chrono Trigger remake, or some type of Chrono Cross. We deserve it at this point. I don't think there's anything else that we can do as Switch fans at this point to not deserve this from Square Enix. So I want to go over some of the news here when it comes to Octopath Traveler. Then I'm going to continue to be on my soapbox and talk about why Switch owners deserve Secret of Mana and deserve Chrono Trigger and deserve all the classic RPGs to be brought back. No exceptions. I'm so sick of Square Enix at times not giving us certain things over all of these years. But let's get into this news first, and then we'll talk about that in just a bit. So in Japan, the Octopath Traveler restock, they see a big restock, but it actually sells out in a day. One day it sold out. So Octopath Traveler's Square Enix's big RPG for the Nintendo Switch, at least, it was restocked recently in Japan, and thanks to the high demand of the game, it's the #1 best-selling game at Amazon Japan and also at Yodobashi Camera in Japan, which is also a large retailer. Now, although demand was high, there wasn't enough copies to go around once again. Yodobashi Camera sold out, and Amazon Japan's next shipment arrives on August 13th. So there is a little bit more of a shortage, even though there was a big restock. Now, we got sales for the past week in Japan, and it sold, I think, over 13,000 units for the restock that they had there, but that was, I think, just part of the rest of the shipment that they had originally. That wasn't too much of a big restock. So recently there was another restock that we should see reflected on next week's sales chart numbers. But I think at this point, you look at what Octopath Traveler does, it wasn't like it had a huge marketing budget. It's not like it uses the top of the line graphics or anything like that. It just uses Unreal Engine 4. It's just a classic RPG with a modern twist on it for Bravely Default fans, for classic RPG fans, kind of infused together. That's all Octopath Traveler is. It's on the Nintendo Switch, so you get a portable version of the game, which people did love the portable versions of like Final Fantasy on the Game Boy Advance and all that. And then you also get the home console. I think that's also what's propelling sales in Japan as well. It's an original title for the Nintendo Switch. That's also really good. But I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the fact that Switch owners are more than willing to open up their wallets and spend their money on a high quality RPG on the Nintendo Switch. A high quality RPG made for the Nintendo Switch. Not some type of thing to where you get somebody else to port it over and they're talking about, oh, we're going to reduce this or do that, or it's not the same as this, so Digital Foundry comes in and starts with the comparisons. Not that, but a game that's literally made for the Nintendo Switch. This is proof. So I want to see it, Square Enix. I've talked about this before with Square Enix, and I'm at this point, I know it hasn't been too long. I'm not sitting there and saying Square Enix is garbage or anything like that, because they're not. They've done an okay job on the Switch. They've opened up a brand new division that's going to be working with Switch games. The Octopath Traveler developers said that they have several Switch titles in development, which is good, but I'm going to be honing in on a couple here. I think that fans, we deserve the Secret of Mana remake in addition to the Secret of Mana collection. I think that at this point, we deserve that. Look at what Octopath has done. You can't sit here and tell me, oh, well, PS Vita deserves the Secret of Mana remake at this point. So I think fans deserve it. Not saying, please give it to us, please. I'm saying fans deserve it. Square Enix should do it, okay? Clear difference here, because I don't want people thinking that I'm begging for stuff, because I'm not. I'm saying it should happen. Clear difference. I'm not going to sit here and tag Square Enix or make a change.org petition or try to rally the troops. This should happen based on our actual actions, not based on us begging and pleading for certain things or anything like that, or starting campaigns. I'm saying that since we have purchased a classic RPG that is available to us, that's high quality, and obviously Secret of Mana Remake isn't as high quality, but I think that Switch fans have proved that they will buy these classic RPGs. That's what I'm kind of getting down to when it's all said and done. You know, I'm getting down to the point to where what else do we have to do to prove it at this point? We had Lost Sphere and I Am Setsuna, and those games didn't do too well because those games weren't high effort, in my opinion. I don't think the developers really thought enough about what gamers actually wanted. They kind of just made a game and hoped that people that liked Chrono Trigger would pick it up, whereas the people who loved Chrono Trigger and the people who loved Secret of Mana and the old school games are buying Octopath because it's a game that's made and tuned for the Nintendo Switch, and a lot of thought has been put into the combat, to the battle system, and taking things from old school RPGs, but then also infusing some stuff from new school as well. So those are the type of efforts that I'd like to see on the Nintendo Switch. Not only original games brought out, but I think that this proves, man, I think this is time for Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. I think these two games need to be remade, or there needs to be sequels on the Nintendo Switch. And if they put the same amount of time and effort and care into those games as they did with Octopath Traveler, you're going to get some of these results, if not even better, since it is a known franchise. Now, I'm not saying that they should make Chrono Trigger in the same vein as Octopath, so like the pixelated or anything like that. I'm just saying that we deserve more of the classic RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. There's no more like, well, maybe, or can an original new IP sell on the Nintendo Switch, or can RPGs like this do well? There's no more of that. Like, there's no more at this point based on what I'm seeing here. You have a restock that sells out in one day across the board. They don't even have enough copies for everyone to pick up. Anytime I go to the store, there's literally no copies of Octopath Traveler at my Best Buy, and they did get a restock. They did get a little bit of a restock, and there's no copies of it there. I don't see it really anywhere. I don't go into GameStop anymore, but from what I understand, I did give them a call. They had 2 copies when I gave them a call earlier this week. So they only had 2 copies of the game. So the game is doing really well. Now, it's not selling like GTA or anything like that, or like Mario Odyssey, but when it's all said and done, I did say I think that this game could sell 4 million or 5 million copies, and that's not a stretch. That's actually looking like it's very feasible based on the long-term sustained sales. People are going to continue picking this title up for years down the road, heck, maybe even longer than that, because of its unique art style, because of its style of gameplay. There's not a lot of other games on the market like Octopath Traveler, and I think that that proves, once again, that proves that people want these style of games. Everything doesn't have to be like a Final Fantasy 15. It doesn't have to be so big and grandeur and everything. People just want solid gameplay, because you can talk about how Octopath Traveler looks and all of that, but when it comes down to it, the gameplay is top tier. And that's the best thing. That's what people want, is top tier gameplay. So this is kind of just like, I want Square Enix to understand that you can make a game on the Nintendo Switch. You can make an exclusive on the Nintendo Switch, and it can just be for the Switch if you want it to be. You don't have to spend the type of money to port over or to have some type of big type of game. You can make a Chrono Trigger with graphics that are not up to par with what we see today in today's RPGs. You can make a Chrono Cross with the same thing. It can be like a blend between like a PS3 game. It can look like that. As long as the gameplay is solid, as long as it's fun, as long as it's top tier in terms of that, people are going to go out there and buy the game. And I think Square Enix and lots of other developers have been very apprehensive about that. It's either like, let's just make this as low budget as possible so we don't lose anything, or let's just not put it on the Switch like PS4 or Xbox One, you know? So what I want to see is not more of like the low budget, kind of like the Secret of Mana remake. I mean, obviously those would be great if they came over. I think that Switch fans deserve that. But what I want to see is more style or more flavor kind of put into these games, and worry about that more so than anything, and trust and invest at least into that. Don't put out the stuff like Lost Sphere and I Am Setsuna in terms of how they look. Don't give them shoestring budgets, then expect anything more than a shoestring return in the process. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little bit more. Give them some modern tools to work with. Let them kind of feel out what RPG fans want. I'm not sure if they actually listened to what RPG fans wanted with I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere, even though they were trying to talk to classic fans out there. Those games didn't do as well. Lost Sphere didn't do as well as I Am Setsuna. That game actually did okay, but I think that going forward, we're going to see this from Square Enix. But this is just me giving them a couple warning shots out here. You know, I've actually done that a number of times where I say, hey, Square Enix, this is what I'm thinking, you know, and I'm going to continue doing that because I feel that Switch owners deserve it at this point. I don't think there's anything else from what we've gotten so far. From Square Enix, I don't think there's anything else that we can do. We have the World Ends With You Final Remix coming out later this year, and I guarantee you that one's going to be a good seller on the Switch as well. Now, I don't think it's going to do as well as Octopath, because Octopath is a brand new game. I would think a little bit better battle system, in my opinion. However, the World Ends With You Final Remix has a very unique and interesting battle system that I think fans will like. Just Octopath is more straightforward for people out there. But overall, I think that game is going to do really good. So I think that once you see that with the World Ends With You Final Remix, you saw that with Octopath Traveler, and we do know that there's more games coming. The secret Square Enix games, which I had a live stream on a little bit ago, there's going to be more stuff. But like I said, I hope it's more stuff like Octopath and what they're trying to do there than more stuff like Lost Sphere or I Am Setsuna and what they tried to accomplish there with those games. I'm hoping they put a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, and a little bit more money into it, because I think the Switch is worth that. And it doesn't even have to be like a Switch exclusive. It can be like Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox. It can be everything, but at least keep in mind in terms of the user base and who's going to be buying these type of games and everything like that, because the HD Rumble usage in Octopath is some of the best that I've seen, and that's because they really focused and honed in on what Switch owners would want in a game. So that's basically my thought process with this, guys. We need to see Chrono Trigger. We need to see Chrono Cross. I need to see something from Square Enix relatively soon. I'm not going to say my patience is running thin, but I'm going to keep on reminding them that Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross are something that fans deserve after Octopath Traveler's sales success. I don't think there's really any question about it at this point. We would definitely pick it up. I think that it's a franchise that hasn't been around for so long. There's been no real new game in the franchise for nearly 2 decades. It's really time, Square Enix, and I think Octopath Traveler proves that. So what do you guys think about what I had to say here? What type of revivals would you like to see on the Nintendo Switch or platforms from Square Enix? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting PlayerEssence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting PlayerEssence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.